All right, welcome back. Today is Sunday, February 25th, 2024. And today's little science project is I'm going to attempt to remove this Corvette lettering from these coil pack covers or engine covers or whatever you want to call them, since I'm not working on a Corvette. So these things look like they were stamped or pressed, and so basically the backside, was recessed. So my concern was, if I go to sand these things, as you can see, they're kind of pressed, stamped, and if they're recessed on the backside, you go to sand this off and you're going to go right through it. So I did some asking online and got some advice based on that information right there. PA6 means these things are made out of nylon. So I've never plastic welded anything, but I bought a little soldering iron and some rods on Amazon, pretty cheap. I think it was like $25 for a little kit. And basically I backfilled all the recessed areas, all the recessed letters with nylon rod. I assume that you have to use the material that it's made out of in order for it to bond. And it bonded pretty good. It looks like crap, but it's filled. So what I'm going to do today is attempt to sand all this down with a DA. I bought some cheap sandpaper on Amazon. I'm out of a lot of sandpaper, and I'm not quite ready to restock, because my paint projects are pretty much coming to an end here with this car. So I bought an assortment on Amazon of the cheapest sandpaper you can find, and this is what I got. And they're 5-inch hook and loop DA, just an assortment. I think it was like, I don't know, $15 for all this, maybe less. So all I'm gonna do is DA it down, see what happens, and then all this area probably needs to come off, and I'm basically gonna fill it with, I'm gonna spray it with epoxy, multiple layers to see how they look. And if they don't come out like I want, then I'll throw them away and get some more. But I really don't want to run the Corvette lettering on my car. I have an idea. I'm either going to basically run these blank, probably black, or maybe get something custom made, some sort of a decal, or maybe something out of some stainless or something. I don't know. I haven't crossed that bridge yet. I haven't thought that far. But basically, what needs to happen first is the stuff got to come off. So I'm gonna DA these things and see what we run into. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I kind of wish that this is where the factory fuel line comes out of. I kind of wish this wasn't here. I thought about buying another cover and taking a section out and filling that in, maybe, possibly. Just throwing ideas. I mean, the stuff ain't costing hardly any money right now. So let me DA these down and see what we come up with. All right, here we are. The science experiment so far has turned out to be okay. What I did was I used a 60 grit on the DA, followed up with 80 grit, knocked it down pretty smooth. You can see there's still a little bit of a ghost remnants. I didn't want to take these little specks all the way down. I didn't want the material to get too thin, so what I'm hoping is about 3 or 4 coats of epoxy will probably fill this. So I got some SPI epoxy on standby. I'm going to wax and grease, remove this down. I already washed them, soap and water. I'm going to spray some Bulldog adhesion promoter, and then spray some epoxy. Probably, it's pretty mild. It's 79 degrees, 51% humidity, so probably a coat every 15 minutes or so. And hopefully it fills up all this little stuff. The epoxy is really flexible, and I'm hoping that this thing works out. So bring you guys back once I get this thing coated with 1 coat. All right, so here we are. This is about 6 coats of epoxy, and as I got later on in the coats, 4, 5, and 6, I really slammed it on. I mean, I was basically trying to make it run. So Got a couple little nibs right there. I painted next door where Bobby's been welding, so it's quite a mess in there. But so what I'm gonna do now, I don't see any of the Corvette letters anymore. It's pretty heavy. I'm gonna let this sit overnight and then come in and wet sand 600 and probably go to color. I think I'm gonna go ahead and match them green. So, I mean, if it doesn't look good, then I'll just paint them black, you know, but I'm gonna be painting some stuff tomorrow anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the mix. But just gonna let this sit overnight, let it cure up. This is straight epoxy, so it's basically glue. And so far it's working. So I'll bring you guys back once I get these things sanded tomorrow. Oh, this is the plastic welder I got on Amazon. Come with 2 tips, and they come with a bunch of different materials. Like I say, I think this whole kit, well, the soldering iron didn't come with this extra nylon stuff. It came with a small assortment, but it didn't have any nylon. So I think all in all, I'm in this thing like $35. And I'm not sure that I had to backfill it, but it definitely added strength by backfilling it. So I'm glad I did, but I don't know that we have to. But anyways, I'll bring you guys back once we get these things sanded in some color. Here we are, about 4 days later, after 6 coats of epoxy and about 3 or 4, I don't even remember, 4 or 5 days of sitting outside in the sun. These things shrunk back a little bit. So I hit them with 400 grit this morning, followed up with 600 wet, and we're ready to get some color on them. Looking pretty good. So I'm gonna be using the same color as the car. Probably, you know, 3 ounces of paint maybe. We'll see how it covers. Let me get it mixed up, bring you guys back. All right, it's been about an hour and a half. You got to take it easy with these temperatures. It's only 66 degrees. So 2 coats, hour and a half later, we're gonna hit these things with some clear coat, see what it looks like. Overall, the color leveled out pretty good. I didn't use my DV1, I used my Iwata 1.3 orange cap. I don't want to clean 2 guns today, so I'm being lazy. We're gonna spray the Euro as usual. 1:1 to 1.5, something like that. Probably just give it 2 coats, call it done. Of course, the only time you're going to see these things is when the hood is open and you're actually looking for them. So I'll bring you guys back once I get these things with some clear on them. All right, here we are. The science experiment turned out okay. I got these things painted and cleared, and it took a few days or a full day to be able to touch them because it's not hot like I'm used to. It's more like 70, but they're cured and they're on. I do have some dirt nibs that I need to kind of de-nib and sand and polish these pieces, but overall I kind of like the look. They don't say Corvette, it's not a Corvette. I don't know what you guys think. Thinking maybe put a decal or have something made or leave them blank, I don't know. But that's a wrap for this project. Hope you guys, you know, learned something. It's pretty easy. It didn't cost a whole lot of money. So if you're running LT swap and you don't want that Corvette lettering, you know, you can pull this off. I wouldn't recommend any 2K primer on it or any filler. I just went straight epoxy. That way there's nothing, you know, there's nothing there to flake or crack or anything like that. It's just basically glue. Sanded them, sprayed them in epoxy, sprayable glue, color and clear. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all stay tuned for more work.